Oh, okay. So I was not live yet. Sorry, guys. I hope I was. I have this to isolate me a bit from the fan, and if a guest shows up too. Okay, I see myself, so image is okay. Now I don't know about the sound, so if there's anyone watching, please let me know. Okay, 3 people, probably one is me, and there's 2 others, so hi. So yes, few days ago I've posted something on the YouTube community and also on Instagram to give you some big news, a bit shocking, a bit worrying at first sight, but in fact it is not something that will impact us whiskey lovers. Hi Andrew, thank you very much. Welcome on board. So like I said, yeah, we're not gonna be running short of Gordon MacPhail bottlings now, today, tomorrow, or most probably the 5, 7, I don't know how much years. But yeah, Gordon MacPhail, for those of you who don't know, I'm not going to be long on that, not to repeat too much things, have decided regarding the situation in the whiskey industry and also a lot of new distilleries that are not providing any or very few casks to the indie bottling companies, and also lots of new official distilleries, no, older ones, I mean, sorry, that have decided, seeing the success of indie bottling, seeing also the success of some blenders, even among some of them. But for instance, Compass Box and Douglas Lang's success did push a few producers to release more limited edition bottlings, dig a bit more into some of those things we uh, whiskey lovers, a bit more connoisseurs, let's say, want. That is something that comes across more natural, with the higher ABV, stuff like that. So they're giving less casks to the indie bottlers. There are still plenty on the market, but maybe not the most interesting ones for many. That's probably the reason why you see so many finishes. Just a guess. Anyway, so they have decided not to buy any new cask to bottle since the beginning of next year. But basically, they have so many stocks, so many new make, I mean, which is aging in their warehouses, that they probably don't need for the next 10, 15 years, because they have stock and they will continue to bottle it and to sell it. But they want to focus more on their first distillery, which dates to, I think the takeover was 1998. I have to check out. Yeah, 1998. Renewed, then put back into production in October 1998. It's, of course, Ben Romach, that they bought in 1993, 10 years after it was closed. And also, there's a new distillery that are now working on. It's called the Cairn. I don't know if you know that. So yeah, I did add a link later on to an interview by the Herald of Scotland, an article from Scott Wright from 24 of July, which was explaining a bit more with managing director Ewan McIntosh what's going on. So they say, yeah, big decision to seize the third-party fillings. Yeah, I'm explaining a bit this to let people some time to enter in the live show if they want to follow in the chat, or some guests maybe, I don't know. It's a bit too late, and like I said, to have a guest from Gordon MacPhail. I know some people from there, but it was a bit improvised. I was not supposed to do this theme, but some others. But when I saw I had way more Gordon MacPhail bottlings than I thought, even if I missed some, I will go back to this, and I had to sell a very important one. a few years ago. But yeah, so they're constructing the cairn, but for now, like they say, this has no impact, this decision, for the last 10 to 15 years. And it allows us to focus on the story of Gordon MacPhail. I think, like he says, they're gonna release more rare and exclusive things, like the 80 years old Glenlivet and else they did. Also, that's the problem of being a licensed bottler. I will talk about that also. I have some on the table. So yeah, like others, they're like Douglas Lang, like Elixir Distillers, Adelphi with Ardnamurchan. There are some of those indie bottlers are buying their own distilleries to have some stock in the future to provide, with no interaction with the others, except if they do some blend experiments, like they did, for instance. Adelphi worked with a very interesting Swedish distillery, High Coast, to do a special bottle mixing Ardnamurchan and High Coast. Unfortunately, I couldn't try it, but it is said to be a good one. Now, so what do I have on my table? You've seen the picture. I've reassorted them in a possible tasting order. I'm not gonna try them all, of course. But what I propose to you is, I have a paper here, and I'm gonna write down some of those you think, you in the chat in particular, you will be interested in my opinion about. Oh, connection lost. I'm gonna cut this. But before we go into that, let me tell you a bit about my experience about Gordon MacPhail. You know, for those who know me well, it's been around 25 years I've been trying whiskey, going to shows, etc. But within those 25, the first years, I didn't come across a lot to Gordon MacPhail. In fact, if I look at my archives, it's only around 2002. Well, I come across two bottles I don't have anymore, of course. For instance, I had a 2005 release of Pulteney. Old Pulteney, when it gets to indie bottlings, often is cut down to Pulteney only. Pulteney, 15 years old, bottled at 40%, but was still interesting. I had also a very old stock from a supermarket of Glenavon, I don't know how to pronounce that, which is an undisclosed 8 years old single malt. It's called Fine Old Glenavon, 8 years old. This is supposed to be, of hearsay, an indie Glenfarclas, as they were often in the past. So quite a nice one, very leafy, very herbal, so not so much sherried, but quite a lot of distillery character. I also had a Rosebank. I had two others, but 12 years old, vintage 1984. I have my notes somewhere. What else? Yeah, there's other things I tried. Hi, Donabas. Hi, David. No problem. Thanks, David, for being there, and hope all is well where you are. And also, I had a Clynelish I was obliged to sell for personal reasons. And that Clynelish was no less than 37 years old, vintage 1972, bottle 2010 for La Maison du Whisky at 58.9, cask number 14300. I still have a sample of it. It was the deal to sell it. It was to get a sample. Also tried a lot of Connoisseur's Choice early 2000 or so releases, bottled at 40%, yes, but they were still very good. Brora, 1982, Ardbeg 1974. What else? Port Ellen, of course, 1982. So lots. Honestly, I cannot summarize all the Gordon MacPhail tastings I did among 4,000 whiskies now, something like that. I have taken a lot of notes in the past. What I can show you, there are pictures on my website, and also I think on Instagram, not sure of all. But yeah, you can see some pictures when I did my. They're gonna be displayed less good now. I'm sorry, so I'm gonna be quick on that. When I did a video called 15. Oh, so you got that one. Oh, the Cragganmore, very curious. Nice, and thanks for coming, Andrew. So I'm gonna show you just a few ones because it's a bit glossy. I had the chance, before we get into my bottles, but we will do very soon, don't worry. I had the chance to try two, if not mistaken, they were both 39 years old, but two 1969 Longmorns. One was for La Maison du Whisky. Hey, hi, Karsten. Good to see you. Guten Abend. Yeah, we can still say that. One was the whiskey for the Whiskey Exchange, single cask at 57.7, and one was for La Maison du Whisky. I know it's a picture. I know it's a bit glossy, but look at that Sherry Monster, 1969. Longmorn. The other one, before we get to the tastings, it's probably, and yeah, we have the. Well, I mean, it's endless, you see, because if I show you this, Strathisla 60, 1960, had the chance to try Whiskey Live Paris. When was that? I think I have the portrait here. I will put a lot of links, but after the show. When was that? Yeah, Whiskey Life Paris 2009. It was bottled at that time. And yeah, so 1957 from a friend again, and at Whiskey Life Paris as well. In 2014 for my 10th visit, so I had to celebrate that with a few people. Yeah, I did celebrate that in private at the end of one of the days with John Glazer and Dave Broom. We did just one picture, but we didn't share it with in public. But we had a nice time and nice memories of the beginnings of. John told us the beginning of his journey, and for instance, his visit to Talisker and first visit to Talisker, and he was blown away. That's what I'm looking for, but sorry, guys. So yeah, while I'm searching for the picture, please let me know your experience. Some have already done it with where is it? With Talisker if you want, but with I struggle to find. Oh yeah, there you go. What could be my favorite Gordon MacPhail? It's very hard. Honestly, there's probably a dozen, but my favorite Talisker so far, and there's no equivalent, is this. Again, I apologize, it's just a picture, it's a bit glossy. It's almost reddish, the color, but it's a 1955 Talisker of 38 years old, bottled in 1993. It was a paper drum at Whiskey Life Paris Collector's Room. It was made of 3 sherry casks. It was a half bottle at natural cask strength, 53.6. I rated it 98 out of 100 and beyond any category. It's such a beautiful sherry monster without being overpowering the distillate, and at the same time such a delicate peated whiskey. I mean, I tried the official Talisker 30 years old. It's nowhere near the majesty It's not the same ABV, of course, as this, to be honest. Also, before I go to my own bottles, 2012, you were getting these kind of things when you were going Whiskey Life Paris, and also unbelievable color, right? Hope there's still some people there. And this is the man I paid tribute on my website. Now, if you can see him well, Michael Urquhart, one of the Urquhart family, who becomes master of the Quaich, which is the highest praise in the Scotch whiskey industry. See, kind of things I tried all for free. Glen Grant 56, sorry. I know some people have tried all the things now, but yeah, we had the chance to try a lot of things back in the days. Now, like I said, I don't have a lot of high-end stuff here, so I know some would be disappointed. I don't have the budget of Phil and Deepa, for instance. I think they're gonna, was it a Gordon MacPhail they're gonna uncork tonight? I'm not 100% sure, but I thought Glen Talkers. Yeah, sorry. So what's your experience, I want to know, with Gordon MacPhail? Andrew tried 1974 Ardbeg. Was it a connoisseur's choice, Andrew? I think so. Don't remember to have tried the Cragganmore on my side. Before we get into my bottles, what do I wanted to tell you? Yeah, 1895, they started, established as a grocery, like many blending houses, like many indie butlers. They were selling coffee, wines, tea, and whiskey. 1985, that means around 35 years of getting blended whiskies as well. Yeah, and when you see, well, I didn't know that 1968 is the date of the Connoisseur's Choice creation, this range, which has been, everything has been relooked, revamped recently, so you know that. Also, yeah, this is insane. If you go on their website, in 1940, to the instruction of John Urquhart, 15 first fill sherry butts were filled at Glenlivet and left to mature in Warehouse 6. Some of those to be bottled, 70, 80 years later. So it's insane. Yeah, business survived the ravages of Second World War, as they say. I'm not going to tell you yours. Just looking for some details. Yeah, they're located in Elgin, but they moved at some point in 1991. Yeah, duty paid warehouses. Okay. So we now have to go back to my collection. Oh, let me highlight this from yeah, okay. I see what you mean. I think this discovery range, which I tried 4 or 5 different ones when it was still possible to do tweet tastings or stuff like that without having too much taxes to pay because of Brexit and else. I tried 4 or 5 once. The Buna was not my favorite, but there was I don't remember it now, but the tasting is on my website somewhere. I think Karsten, I take Karsten is your first name. Sorry if it's not that. I take the 43% is a matter of price tag. They wanted to keep as low as possible because every percentage, every 1, 2, 3% more is money. Don't forget that. So if I believe in France, I saw those bottlings very reasonably priced. So I guess it's the reason why they didn't want to go up to 46 and keep that for other ranges that I have on the table, such as the reserve one, or else. But I don't know. Yeah, it's more for beginners. That's what I understand. They want to introduce and see the color, fancy colors. It's the same as well, I believe. It's a marketing thing to introduce people to this Scotch single malt whiskey category, I believe. That is why I think we saw them so much. Oh, wow, well done. I haven't. So, okay. So now you're talking about current prices, those 2 last years, let's say. I haven't seen them. I'm sorry. I don't have anything new here. So I know that might not interest a lot of people. But where are you located? Germany? Germany is often cheaper than France. I will have a look to see what's going on in France regarding that range, because it's a bit surprising. Okay, so what I will propose you, because I have 10 bottles on the table, and I will not taste them all. Oh, Peter. Now, let me highlight that. Yeah, lots of Speymalt. The thing with Speymalt, it's the range in which they highlight Macallan, and it's a range in which you can have pretty decent Macallans. Well, this one is young, okay, with way lower price than the official ones. And I know the 1970 was great. I don't have it, but okay. Hey, David. Okay, not sure I tried that one. I heard it was good. Yeah, that's it. You got it. So what I propose you, I'm going to show you the bottles, maybe give you details or later on, and or the one you choose, let's say. I'm going to note the one you want me to try. Let's say the most people just put it in the chat, please. And this is a supposed, I haven't tried them all at once, of course, at the same time, same session, I mean, so it's just a guess of the order. So got a Glen Grant, 18 years old, vintage 1990. It's a distillery label. It's licensed bottling. Yeah, I gotta say something about this. Where was that? Yeah. So the particularity of Gordon MacPhail, contrarily to a lot of other indie bottlers, I mean, though these guys go back to 128 years now, with a lot of stock of new makes they bought to age in their own warehouse. So like Duncan Taylor did that, Signature Vintage did that, does that. Who else? Not so many. And also they have a contract with some distilleries like Glen Grant, Glenlivet, Longmore, Macallan, and Strathisla. I mean, almost all that I have on the table. I don't have no more, left, no Glenlivet left. So this is 40%. This is something I had very cheap back in the days. 2001, I see. I'm not sure. No, a bit later, I think. Oh, I'm surprised by the price. I might be mistaken. So I don't know if you're interested to try this one. Ooh. Yeah, mine is not a cask strength, mind you, but I'm going to show you. I will let it for last as it did heavily peated. Then I have this crazy thing, which is a sub-range Spirit of Scotland. There was a very nice Ardbeg 1974 I tried in the same range. Yeah, I said in the video Rosebank was closed, but it's now going to be reopened, of course, under a new ownership, not Diageo, but Jan MacLeod. You probably know that. 40% are okay, but this was lost in a dusty shelf of a local supermarket when I arrived in this area where I am now. And it was sold for 22, 23 euros. Nobody wanted to buy this. There were dozens of this. Not natural color, forgot to say, in most of the entry-level ranges. I don't know if it has changed now, I'm not sure. If you're sure about that, please let me know. But in those early days, Connoisseur Choice and this, those were chill filtered and were also colored, unfortunately, because it was also due to the most popular, you know what I mean, demand, I mean, to sell it to everyone. I know it's a pity, but 8 years old, distilled 1998, bottled 1996. It's still a very, very nice and very fruity whiskey. I love it. Then we have, I thought it was 43, but it's a 40%er, Linkwood, 15 years old, still in the distillery labels, official releases, but they're sold under the license. So they use the term distillery labels because they were allowed by the distilleries to do so, which is not the case of many indie bottlers. And by the way, for those who don't know, by law, an indie bottling, too bad I don't have an official one. An indie bottling, normally, if it's not a licensed bottling, but yeah, we have the example here. This is a distillery label, so the name of the distillery shows big. This is not an official bottling, so the ensemble of the informations here, Connoisseur's Choice, whether it's the range or the name of the indie bottler, has to be around 3 times bigger than the name of the distillery. I don't know if you knew that. So that's why. Okay, I don't know now. Benriach first or no, last. So yeah, Linkwood 15. So yeah, it's not a masterpiece, but it's a nice one. I kind of prefer my Berry Bros one, which is natural color, etc. Then we have a Benriach, 23 years old, 1981, at 43%. I reviewed this, I think, in my Benriach overview. This one I talked about, but I never reviewed it online. You can see notes on my website, but disclaimer on my website, I didn't do every single distillery entry on the left menu. I apologize. It's this website is a total mess. That's why I stopped adding things to it, but there's still a lot of things in it. So you have to browse in the search menu. Sorry about that. So Speymalt, it's a range. I don't know if you still hear me, see me. Sorry about that. I see the connection is low. I'm gonna cut the Gordon MacPhail website. Maybe it's this. There's very costs a lot of things connection-wise. Okay. Hope it will be better. I don't see now any signal. Bottled in 2016. It's just 9 years old, 43%. I would have preferred 46, but it's quite powerful. I don't see other comments in the chat, so I hope it's okay. I lost some viewers. It's live. Then we have a Rosebank. Very nice one of my favorite of the Gordons I have. So it's one for La Maison de Whisky, store pick. You can see all the basic info you need there and others there. Anyway, I will put this into my usual box if I try it now. Really lovely one. I love Rosebank, but this is 17 years old. This was still affordable in 2010 at 72 euros. Unfortunately, now you come across only 21, 30 years old official ones. It's insane prices. Okay, then we have another distillery I like a lot, and this is also a licensed bottling. This one is Store Pick for La Maison de Whisky. It's a 12 years old with a famous Drakkar Viking boat that you could see in the old 12 years old official I had in the past. This was bottled in 2012 from a refill bourbon barrel. I forgot to speak about the cask, sorry. But we'll see. Then we have another Speyside, which is another distillery label, and which is typically a sherried one. This one is 25 years old, bottled in the early 2000s at 43%. This is not the best 25 years old Strathisla I had. This is not the best Strathisla I had as well. You won't believe me, but the 40% version of this was way bigger and stronger and more powerful than the 43%. So not always a question of ABV. It can be also a question of the cask. The cask's character, individual casks that have been put together, maybe the storage as well, maybe also if there was color or the chill filtration was heavy, as I suspect a bit here. Then we have probably my other favorite, along with the Rosebank bottle of Gordon MacPhail. This is the Clynelish that was sold by the Whiskey Exchange at some point, and I bought it in London. And see the 54.0 ABV, love that. It's funny. So it's a 15 years old bottle in 2016 in the Cask Strength range. Non-chill filtered natural color, hooray. And more about the cask. What did I wrote there? Oh, or maybe I will find the info. Wait. So this is refill sherry. All right. Oh, 1993. Oh, cool. Let me see that. Oh, yeah, possibly. Oh, Gordon MacPhail 105. Whoa. Very surprised that they did bottle that under the license because normally they're not into that with them. So must be one-off. Very interesting info. Thanks. Last but not least, and even at 43%, it's a stunner. An 8 years old Bunnahabhain. I think we discussed that with someone, maybe in the chat. Heavily peated. This one was bottled in 2016. Yeah, 11 October 2016. There's the code there. It's always cool to have some code. And the batch 161698. So yeah. So which ones you would like me to try? Of course, I have to follow an order, but I don't want to try more than 5. And there's not a lot of people watching, maybe more on the replay, but yeah, I'll be leaving tomorrow. So that's why, for a few days of vacation. So that's why I'm not going to try a lot. But never mind. So Benriach, Glen Grant, Linkwood, SCAPA, first maybe among those low ABVs, and maybe to keep at the end the Bunnahabhain, Strathisla, and Clynelish, which are have more character maybe. The SCAPA has quite some character. The Rosebank. So what you vote for, folks? Let me know. Andrew. Yeah. Yeah. I think contrarily to, I know for each distillery, I mean by heart, I can't remember. I know for some, but to be honest, for some distilleries, they decided not to release their official bottles and provide blends, still saying there are, for instance, Highland Park, the 12 years old, there were other bottlings before, but dates only from 1992. And before that, you were having, and I tried some more recent ones, but 8 years old in this collection, MacPhail collection, 8 years old Highland Park. Okay, SCAPA. SCAPA will not come first. I note down because it's 46%, but we will try it. This is noted. And water, of course. Anyway, without water, you don't have whiskey. And you have at least 40% of water in your whiskey. Just remember that, 40 to 60. SCAPA Rosebank. Which ones of the Rosebank, Peter? I'm sure of what you're going to answer, but the 8 years old or the 17? Completely different beast, but both interesting. One more for archives and the other for posterity, let's say. Okay. Well, that could be a good start. 17. I knew that, Peter. you like the good stuff. I know that too. The other people too, but I see your posts often in chats. I will do them head to head. Okay. So this has a screw cap. Very simple. They can leak as the corks. This depends on many things, storage, etc. I had a chance here that those one didn't, while on miniatures, on minis, I had big problems. So very hit or miss, I honestly. Right. So in the beginning, you could find in Gordon MacPhail in the connoisseur choice, and this very particular choice, like I said, preparing my what I will post after the show. This range, Spirit of Scotland, is from Speymalt Whisky Distillery Limited, and by the box, I know that this is Gordon MacPhail, but this range has been, of what I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, has been a few years ago rebought or taken over or sold to a Dutch shop and retailer and indie bottler, which is called Van Wies. So, which does, I think, the ultimate, which we cannot find here, a special range, and has relaunched some of this, but I didn't see any. Well, this is completely different. It's unfair ABV wise, but 40, the 8 years old is 40, this one is 46. But it's interesting because it's getting rare to come across Rosebank now, as you know. Well, the cork, I will have to replace it soon. Very wet. So, we'll start with this one. Hey, Mark, how you doing? We're going to compare two, oh, sorry about that. We're going to compare two Rosebank to start with, and then we'll see how it goes. But I'm happy you're there. Oh yeah, Longmorn. There's some very good ones. Very good ones. Now, there are several problems. I hope I will have enough time to mention that. Indie bottlers have different philosophies. I should do a special video about indie bottlers, but it will be super long. They don't all work the same way, and sometimes even within the ranges in the same company, they do not work the same way. Gordon MacPhail, in my experience, tend to try to find, except for single casks, kind of average style, still faithful to distillery character, not necessarily like the official one, but you can still recognize usually. Now, Longmorn is a bad example because except the old 15 that I still have, I don't like really the new, what they're trying to do with the official range, which for me has nothing to do with the beauty of the indie bottlings, but well, who am I? While Douglas Lang and Signatory Vintage, for instance, they're doing completely different things. They're trying to highlight particular casks. So except in the range where they will do small batches and stuff, when they do single casks, they will try to highlight typical part of the style of distillery, but not the whole style. I don't know if I'm clear now, but so you see, it was very simple. And also an old French importer, Perchet, which I never heard of. Also, this is very important. The 8 here, kind of 8 or infinite symbol, is typically the social security certificate. So this is also saying us that this is a pre-2000 bottling. In case you don't know, you can see this in my videos about head-to-head comparisons I did with 1970, 80, etc. Releases of Ballantyne, Chivas, Johnny Walker, and also have a famous cruise from before 1974. You have also other kinds of mentions about alcohol by volume, which didn't exist after the 70s or 80s. Long story. Let's go to this one. On the nose. Yeah, I remember this as a fruit salad. You know that you have in conserve preservation cans, those peaches, there are all sorts of fruit cut, and you have cocktail de fruits, fruits au sirop, as we say here, and it's the dessert of the poor, as we said, and also that lasts forever, if I may say, because it's a metal can. So you have all of that here. It's a lot melted. This is the last bottle of the 3 I bought. It's not low level. I don't drink it often. So yeah, orange, peaches, pears. There's a light spirity note. There's some Earl Grey tea, but it's more significant in the 17. So kind of more, I would say maybe more natural, I don't know, more classic, more easy, more cheaper tea than the ones that are in the 17. Yeah, all malt casks, the problem, I explained that in my website. It's a big topic. Was a range from the Lang brothers, and became a range when they started, I think in 2013 or something like that. I'm not sure. was a range of Fred and Hunter, but after they parted, all malt casks, sorry, became a range, was sold. The name was the grant to use the name was given to sold to Hunter, while Fred Lang for Douglas Lang has to build another range, conceive another range called Old Particular. So if you come across early 2000, etc., it will still be sold under Douglas Lang. But if you see more recent labels of Old Milk Cask, it's all about Hunter Lang. And it's divided for all their 5, 6, 7, I don't know, ranges. It's divided as well. It's very complicated. Yeah, exactly, Andrew. Absolutely correct. It sounds like a quiz question. On the palate, and Slanjava, everyone, or cheers wherever you are, or santé if you're French and watching this. Yeah, I like the floral element in there, also quite gracious, very melted, so it's hard to pin any particular. Let me see if I did, but this is in alphabetical order, so. Oh yeah, I forgot to mention quince, some herbal elements, candied fruit. Okay. Oh no, I won't do that. I would say that, of course, regarding the, it's very hard to say, Mark. I would just say that regarding the high quality and the amount of casks in the market of all stuff that were available before 2010, 15, it's obvious that the past of Douglas Lang is necessarily more prestigious and with more high-end stuff, more quality stuff than after. So when Hunter Lang started his business, of course, he had access to less good casks. But as they were one of the biggest indie bottling company, I know they bought a lot of old stock as well. So why should it be bad if it's old stock? It's just the way you will bottle it. Now, I haven't tried enough. Oh no, not from me. Oh, not at all. I love what they do. I can be picky sometimes with some of what they do, but I'm more picky with Signature Vintage, for instance. And these guys, the Lang brothers, are in the business since 1948, if I'm not mistaken, while the others signature is 1988, and it's not the same way of storing. It's very interesting debate about indie bottlers. Okay, let's go on the palette. Put this down because I have no guests, so it's not really useful to have this. I hope you hear me well. Now, I don't know, you say from Ralphie, indie bottlings, when they are single cask, it's hit or miss, right? As for every bottler. I mean, John Glazer is a friend, but there's sometimes things that he likes me because I say what I think. Despite kind of friendship we have, I don't consider every single release from Compass Box to be great. Because I mean, it's difficult to maintain this quality for everything, and it's the same for other indie bottlers. So it's difficult to debate without examples. On the palate, this comes across as, to go back to the big debate about Ralphie. I've been disappointed those last years, like I said in some chats, so I don't watch him anymore except for a few things for every now and then. I don't like the repetition also of the same concepts, and also some don't let me I don't want to seem disrespectful, etc. He's a big guy, big defender of Scotch whiskey, etc. No big deal. I started watching him and others. I started reading more than watching, like I said, but I don't come from the same culture of young people watching YouTube. There was no YouTube almost when I started. Oh, really? Why? Whoa, what happened? Oh, I want to hear about this, but maybe in another context. I don't know. Whoa, surprising. I never met him. I just don't like some of his reviews where I find it was a bit dishonest. I think the Ben Nevis Cask Strength review, also the ones about some Japanese whiskies where he was not the only one to say some weird statements and undocumented, etc. And this Yoichi, well, it's my favorite active distillery, but colors and tastes, whatever. But yeah, and there's a question of natural integrity malt. Like I said in several occasions, I don't believe in integrity malts today, especially when it means I prefer natural presentation or respecting the distillate, because we have downsides of being very active, of asking for natural color. The big downsides of this is some companies will continue to use tricks in order not to use E150A, and the tricks will be cask imparted color, as they say at Benriach. I hate that term, cask imparted color. So, which means they will do everything they can, for some, of course, not all, to make you believe your whiskey is dark as hell and monster of this and that, because they will use heavily charred casks, they will use virgin oak, and they will use wine cask a lot. In some ways it can be great, and I know that now by myself. But I mean, as a blender, having worked with things I didn't thought they were good, but until I tried from cask to cask in the distillery and say, okay, I surrender. This can be good. This is not good. The cask that was just behind it, before it, but that one is good, so I'm going to use it. Well, you have to explain that another time, because I'm very intrigued now. Thanks, Andrew. So let's go back to this. Yeah, it's melted, of course, something, there's no all bottle effect I could find in the 3 bottles, to be honest, but there's something melted. I mean, it's a chill filtration, it's the E150A, okay, but it's also probably they came across some gentle casks that were not super perfumey or super expressive, I don't know. And some nice floral herbal element, and it's very coming across as very fruity and in some ways close to some Pulteney they did bottle that I had at also Gordon MacPhail. Bit frustrating. I preferred the first times that it's a bit also, it's hot here, not so much today and these days, otherwise I wouldn't have done that. We'll add a few drops. I always have add a few drops, of course, except if I have a 50 years old, for instance, sherried bottle at 40.2. I will not try that. Hi, Des. I will read you after just that Donna pass, but I'm not forgetting you. Yeah, the water does a chemical reaction, right? So you can understand a bit more what's going on, and it's a reveal factor. Not always, but it's a potential reveal factor of things that are hidden by the alcohol and what you get from the first sip, first nose, etc. So it's very important sometimes, if you feel it, to add. And I have a full bottle, it's not a sample. Even a sample, I will try a tiny drop, it depends. Yeah. The floral side is increased, the slight bitterness coming in, but it's a gentle dram, fruity floral. It's not a masterpiece. Please don't search for this and put €100 on that. It doesn't deserve that. It's a cheap malt, but it's a nice one, but it's not more than that. Let's go now to the real deal, if I may say. And before I try to answer to Tonapass. I'm not sure I understand the question. I agree with the first sentence. Then you say, after having many different ones, develop a criteria for selecting bottles, but I don't know what you mean. Please, if you can rephrase that last sentence until you open it. I don't understand what you mean, please. Thanks. Yeah, so I hope everything's okay for you, Des. Thanks for coming. Okay, so we're going to try this rare baby. It's from the reserve range. You can have more details here. Refill bourbon barrel. What the 8 years old misses, and that I find here, but this has more character than some of the older Rosebanks I tried, because it's not, it's refill bourbon barrel, but it has it's a very active one. And what I tried was almost refill systematically. So nice with a kind of chamomile, vanilla, citrus fruit combo. But this is a different beast. This is a different beast. This is not your typical official Rosebank. I tried a Flora and Fauna, which is great. Fantastic whiskey. You can see it at Aquavite and Ralphie. They did a live show, I think, 1 or 2 years ago, in which Ralphie brought a bottle of the Rosebank. Was it a 12 or 14? I don't remember now. Peter will know. Maybe Donna passed through. Yeah. This comes across for me before I knew. I tried it in a show and fell in love with it. I thought it was a refill sherry. It comes across on the nose and on the palate. I like a refill sherry with a lot of Earl Grey tea, cardamom, bergamot, a lot of fragrant things, which I didn't think could come, and I was wrong. Hence Glencadam and other brands and versions. So beautiful tea-ish notes. There's no, it's not sulfur. It's some kind of honey that's almost smoked. I'm surprised because I didn't get this note before. Oh, okay. Bergamot, papaya. Yeah, I get some exotic fruits that are a bit disturbing. There's a leafy side also that's disturbing, but it's an old school whiskey. Comes across like an old school whiskey. Oh yeah, of course, absolutely, absolutely. With this kind of bottles, I tend to try them in a show, and they buy them instead. I do rarely buy by random, or if I sense it, heard of it from someone I trust, stuff like that. And now even with this, like I did for the Race, I bought it in the show. I loved it in the show, and at home it was a complete different beast with the same reference, same batch. I said, "Oh, what's going on?" It happens every now and then. It's life. Yeah, let's go to the palates, Langeva. Not only do you have this elegant elegant, classy, and complex. Not only you have this floral fruity combo, but you have something almost like old school wax / paraffin, but not overpowering, and also something like hard to say. Yeah, icing sugar mixed with almonds, bergamot return, and crystallized ginger and oranges. Love that. This is awesome. I will go back to the other one, but after a few drops, because it's not fair, as it's a 46%. The other is 8 here less. I'll put a bit more. Didn't talk about scores. The yeah, the scoring is a bit too generous. There was another battle, I think, at 89. I would say rather 94.5 for the 8 years old. This one, though, you'll be shocked. I rated 94, and I don't know today what I will rate. Yeah, the balance, I wrote 10 out of 10 as a criteria. Complexity, 9.75. What can I say? If it's 84 for me, for people, you can see like Ralphie. I don't want to talk about Ralphie's rating. Let's talk about Serge, which is one of my references, Serge Valentin. We don't always agree, but I have Serge and Ruben on Whiskey Notes. So Serge Valentin, Whiskey Fun, Ruben, Whiskey Notes, bloggers. I tend to give, usually, not always, 4 or 6 points more than them to whiskies. But for some whiskies, we are exactly on the same page. For instance, for the 105 Glenfarclas, or some Talisker or some Lagavulins, we are almost the same, or exactly the same. It's so beautiful on the nose, a few drops, and so beautiful on the palate. Water brings even more charm. It's hard to define. I will answer to you, Mark, sorry. It's hard to define what makes a whiskey great, but this is in the league of my best whiskies. This is complexity plus the kind of profile I love about those Lowlands distilleries. So that's why it's rated so high. It's because it's a beautiful whiskey for me, maybe not for you. Let's go back to the 8 years old. For Peter and Andrew, I think. It's a bit drowned. It's still beautiful. It comes across as less natural because I suspect some E150A. And also, it's a larger batch of casks. Still interesting for someone experienced. Not stellar, of course. Of course, nowhere near this one. But there's some link between those two regarding preserved fruit with syrup, things like that, and some tea charm with orange bergamot. But yeah, basically there you have it. That one is stellar. I will take your question. What time? We are okay. This is a winner. That's all I can say. Fantastic whiskey. Let me tell you, I'm sorry, but the first part of the table cannot compete. Even the Old Benriach and the Macallan, which will come across brutal now, cannot compete with the Rosebank. So I don't know. Let's take your question mark now. Yeah, I know this is a difficult point. Let's say that I will trust some indie bottlers more than others. But also I like to cross infos, opinions, and facts. Facts, infos, it's the same. Sorry. Let me give you an example. If I hear that a bottling of, I don't know, these all are my own judgment, believe me or not, but if I hear about new bottling, let's say Glenlivet from this or that bottler, I would watch the cask, if it's a single cask or not, which type of cask, what's the color on the website or on the shop, what's the cask type choice, the content choice, what's the ABV regarding the age, which will indicate to me if it's a dunnage warehouse or if it is a racked warehouse. For instance, a lot of signatory vintage over 20, 40 years are still at 60%. This was a practice that was made for Diageo from DCL, UDV, pre-Diageo era, to fill cask at higher level than the 63.5 that's current now, somewhere at 70. And then they were stored in racked warehouses. So you didn't have, if it was high on the rack, you didn't have any chance to see alcohol decrease while water was getting off by angel share, right? Dunnage warehouse, it's the contrary. Water will not be going too much, but the alcohol, yes. So for instance, when I see Bunnahabhain 41 years old from Adelphi that I have, at 41.2, I'm worried it would be too low in expressivity, in power. But I know it's a dunnage warehouse, so there's a good chance that it has been raised quietly. Plus, I tasted it and I found it fantastic, so that's why I bought it. And also the price mark, the price tag, it has to be decent regarding age, ABV, cask type, etc. Reputation of what the distillery also sells to brokers and to indie bottlers. Some distilleries do not sell anything, some sell very scarcely, and you're lucky if you find a Dalwhinnie indie, for instance, or what else could I say? Very, very rare. Yeah, you said Cragganmore, this is rare as well. Some say Cragganmore, so let me see. Yeah, also, yeah, of course, it will deserve an entire episode about sherry, because there's sherry from before, there's fake sherry like Baxterate, or there's PX that's not stated as PX, etc., etc. So lots of things to say, you gotta be careful. Well, what did you miss? I did compare, David, I did compare those two, which were asked by the audience. The 8 years old, 17 years old, 40%, 46, single cask, multiple casks. You understand who's the winner. It is not automatic. It could be a car crash, but this is fantastic. So this one is a single cask for La Maison whiskey. I don't know if you can find it. You can. It is on Whiskey Base. You will have the details after, folks, my friends, after the video will be recorded. I hope it will come across with a good definition. It's not always the case, but I will put all the details after. For those who want everything right now, you can pause it later on and capture all the details. Yeah, 2008, it's not recent. I don't have any recent Gordon MacPhail. The most recent ones I have date from a few years, and there were samples. Oh, good question. You guys bring very interesting questions so far. That's a thing that is a common practice in cognac, and even more, unfortunately, in Armagnac, and sometimes in whiskey as well. It's the re-racking. If you have doubts about that, watch the bottles number, the outturn. How many bottles for this release regarding the age, the ABV, the cask content. If they tell you there are 100 bottles only, it's an 8 years old, and it was raised in a sherry butt of 500 liters or more, they're lying. Or they sold half or the third or the fourth, even of the content of the cask to another indie bottler, or two or three, or to a broker or cask investors. Now, for single barrels from the US, there's a guy out there I mentioned. I don't remember now the channel name. Sorry, it's a new one. It's someone working like a journalist to find out facts about the whiskey industry in the US. And he found out that single barrels from Buffalo Trace, don't sue me, the single barrels of Blantons and other things were not single barrels. They were small batch. It's what he says. I haven't heard that the video was forbidden, retrieved from YouTube. I've seen it 6 months ago. I don't know. But yeah, it's very sensitive for US market. Now, for Scottish market, I mean, for Scottish industry, you can trust them at a certain extent. Unfortunately, I have examples home for which I have doubts, because when I tried a whiskey in a show, it was bearing a certain cask number, and when I bought it after to the retailer who used it in the show, it was bearing another number. And he said, oh yeah, the seller said, the guy said, oh yeah, you know, they changed the numbers, it doesn't matter. Oh, really? Also, you can have the same batch, cask number, and the taste can be very different. What did happen? Or watch my Art American 02.22 video, and you will have also some doubt. Watch also what I said under, it's a small batch, but yeah, it's still the same problem. Watch also what I said under the video of Leanne, Scotch on the Bayou, when she did review the Art American 02.22. My bottle, and we have evidences of that, my bottle bears 23 770 bottles as an outturn for, and it said UK under parentheses. Her bottle still AD 0222. When she does, like me, the QR code, it says only 1,200 bottles. So what does that mean? Did they use this batch number as global and they dispatch to different markets different batches, or it's the same batch of 50,000, I don't know, bottles, and they did cut it to different markets? I don't think it's a lot of transparency there. Don't know what you think about that, but I think it could be interesting. So Integrity bottle, Art American, not sure we're there yet. As much as I love them, not sure we're there yet. So that's why I don't use this term, because it's very hard to trust when you have such differences. Also, would like them to simplify their code and get rid of this slash unless you have something after, like Sherry Cask Reserve. Anyway. I don't know. Everything is possible, to be honest. There's no inspector that's watch everything in the distillery. Okay, you can see things on the spirit safe, but and on they lock the door of the warehouse as well. But what's inside the warehouse, I don't know. What is sure is they do, but like some distilleries beginning by B, they do recask. They do recask, and sometimes I mean, single cask. Good question. I am not 100% sure now. Anyways, shall we move on? I think to the SCAPA, it could be a good idea. I don't want to keep this, or I would like to keep this under the 2 hours, maybe. So as it was asked, I think by M. Karsten, and also I think Peter. Oh, the glass sticked to the paper. Bad idea. Why? I don't know. Maybe the heat there. Gotta be careful about that. Okay, I will not put it there. I wanted the paper to highlight the color, but anyway. So we're testing now. I am tasting now, sorry. Up, let me draw. SCAPA 2000 with the famous Viking, the real one. I mean, the real one, the one the official bottlers did put on the label before they changed a lot of things in the 2000s. In the very early 2000s, I don't have the bottle anymore. I have the box empty somewhere in my archive cartons. But this is a dumpy label, but bottle. But there was a tall bottle of the 12 with a nice watercolor of the shore, very pastel, very like erased, very soft. And on top of it, somewhere where the name is, there was this beautiful Viking ship, as we say, Draka here. So this was a star pick for La Maison du Whisky. This was bottled on the 10 February of 2012. Sorry, 45% ABV. Weird one. This is a refill bourbon barrel, cask number 1088. Distilled on 2nd of May 2000, bottled on 10th February or 2012. There you have it. It's a bit small. I don't know if I can bring it. It's a bit blurry, I'm sorry. That's beautiful ancient motifs. I like it. So this I opened recently because I have a lot of bottles. And then was kind of forgotten in the shelf, so I had to check out the cork. It's always the excuse. And also because I liked it, but it was not exactly the distillery character. I mean, it's a single cask, always the same question. Some single casks do provide a very precise profile wise of the distillery, or part of the distillery character, so they're very relevant. Some others go into complete different direction, and that's why often they get into indie bottlings and bags and not into official bottlings. But this is a distillery label range, so they had to add something that's close. I tried also beautiful Aberfeldy, forgot to check. 11 years old from them. It was wonderful. Independent bottlings of SCAPA is very, very rare. I'm not sure I tried a SMWS one. Not sure. I'm sure there is. I saw the name somewhere. They're supposed to have every Scottish distilleries. There are even, I think, 149. Ardnamurchan recently entered into SMWS. Fantastic, right? They have also even some cognacs and armagnacs. How about that? But no French whiskey yet. It's my complaint. They should do at least an Armoric, which is the first ever French whiskey. On official bottlings wise, I saw a review of a new independent bottling of official release, limited release. Sorry. You see the mistake I made? It's exactly what I said in the beginning. The reason why Gordon MacPhail, probably one of the reasons, they will not buy Cask to do other indie bottlings next year, it's because they see more and more official bottlings doing their job. Not often, not enough, especially for SCAPA. They released this year a 19 years old Cask Strength. I haven't tried it, but the notes I see on Whiskey Exchange, and if you're interested in SCAPA, and also from Serge and from Ruben, they give big notes to this kind of releases. So 227 pounds. Not so unfair. 17. Thank you. Good info, Andrew. Thank you. Yes, one of the early ones. Interesting. There you have it. I didn't talk about for the two others. I'm sorry. Viscosity, medium one. Almost 3 out of 5, but it's no less. Yes, 2.5. It's getting quickly down. It's very weirdly disposed compared to other things I tried. It's not sticking much. It's supposed to be unchill filtered or not. No, we don't know. We don't know. I'm not sure the box, which is also special. No, nothing to, no useful info in there. I saw there's a whiskey base note of this one. This is not the good one. This is to check something. 2011. It's when I helped for Sullivan's Cove. You can see some of nice bottlings they did for Whiskey Life Paris back into 2011. 2-inch Marine with a black label, and the reddish one, I tried it. It's a Tamdhu 1968. Stunning stuff. We were having the opportunity to Cask Strength to try some crazy stuff. Refill sherry hogshead, but it's very dark. 200 euros, 35 in 2011, my friends. And there's a Kulila Reserve refill sherry hogshead that looks great for 121 euros. Same page. And there you have it. The SCAPA 2000. And because it's a 2012 catalog, but of the collection 2011. It's a bit weird. And there you have, this time it's a 38 Clynelish in the Book of Kells, but mine were the 37 with the same label. You can see also a Speymalt, very famous 1971. Longmore 1964 was the dumpy one. No, so they don't say it's natural color, etc. Sounds like it's chill filtered. Now, this is typically something that was asked in the chat a bit before. Guess what? Single cask number. Oh, it's not the same. 1088. It's not the same, but it's the same problem. Guess why? It's a 12 years old too, from another cask, 45% ABV. Refill bourbon barrel, same. Limited release too. Guess how many bottles, guys? Guess how many bottles? Exclusive La Maison du Whisky. Guess how many bottles in the chat? I'm interested. You will be surprised. For this SCAPA from another cask. Those guys, honestly, can you guess? Are you still there? I see no guess. Maybe it comes a little bit late. There's a delay, I don't know. 68 bottles. Typically, it's not possible. I mean, it's a 12 years old, or 225, where 200, something like 200 liters barrels. And it's reduced to 45. How can it be only 68 bottles? So this is a lie. No, 68. This is a lie. This has been splitted with another company, and it says exclusive La Maison du Whisky. Fuck that. You have your answer. I think it was David, or was it Mark? Mark, you have your answer. The answer is no. Or it's tricky. Let's go on this SCAPA now. Are you surprised, people? Tell me. Beautiful, typically bourbon profile with vanilla, with a bit of a soft ginger, let's say, crystallized maybe. Some citrus fruit. I remember this to be very citric, acidic. When I tried it first, I was not completely sold. I think I had a price on that. Otherwise, I would have bought it. How much was it? 59 euros, 2013. Not cheap, but decent. Nice nose, in which I have now more herbal and floral notes than I have before. Note that it has been opened very recently. So it has been opened, it has been bought in 2013. It has been opened 10 years after, in the month of May. And have tried it only once. Floral, herbal, some esters, pear, pineapple, citrus fruit, vanilla. That's what I had at first sip. Yeah, let's go to the palate now. Cheers. Nice icing sugar on top. I love those notes. Complex icing sugar. Not orange. There's something crystallized. Some honey maybe as well. Acacia, not heavy honey. Maybe some orange as well. There's some fruit. I'm trying to find it in English. Some fruit. I don't know the name in French. If this phone lets me find and doesn't always highlight things. Nefle en anglais. Nefle, it's a French word. Oh, it's the same in English, really? Nefle. Small orange fruit. So I get this note on the palate. So nice one. I'm gonna open it a bit. I hope you guys are well and that find this interesting. Very good question in the chat that would deserve way more time for each thing, each topic. So gives me ideas for the future. Thanks. Gets more herbal, floral, still balanced. Comes across as a kind of naked SCAPA, if I may say. Because in I must do a comparison at some point. I have the 14, the previous 14, previous 16, and the Skyron. No age statement. They're not completely different, but somehow there's more. They're more sanitized. They're more big amount of cask. There's caramel added. But even in the old 12 SCAPA, I remember there was some salted caramel note I like a lot. There is none here, and it's one cask. So, oh, hi, Welsh Toro. I stopped buying Gordon MacPhail. I haven't bought any of their stuff for a couple of years. Rip-off stuff, real shame because I have great stuff. Had some classics, have some. Oh, sorry to hear that. I haven't bought any recent ones. Also, question of budget, question of not enough feedback on them. On those I could buy because there's some who gets high praise, but money. Recently did a Balblair tasting in which there was some beautiful old indie bottlings of it. That's nothing recent. Last year, I remember though that Whisky in the Six, Rob and Jeremy were praising quite some of the new revamped Connoisseur Choice range. There was a Balblair, there was a few others as well, so I don't know. Yeah, exactly. I tried only once and I couldn't buy it at a friend, I think. I know when you go at the distillery or you can go on some online shops in UK, lucky you, they don't sell it here, sell them here. There are exactly like Welsh Toro says, they have often it's 750 CL only. They have some beautiful single barrel cask strength releases of SCAPA. So if you go to the distillery or to any other Pernod Ricard, you might come across some of those Chivas Brothers. It's a sub range of Pernod Ricard, which was grouping the first initial Speyside distilleries together with another name, but general name, I mean, don't remember now. But yeah, we'll put a few drops again, or did I put? I don't remember. Anyway, yeah. So you gotta be cautious, as you say, and also find out the ones that people are of trust are praising. Very nice one. Not in the league if you only know the official ones. I mean, the recent ones. It's not like that. It has some similarities with the old 12 years old, but it's more singular. It's more natural. But it misses some of the qualities of the small batches ranges, official ones even, yes, because there's this note of salted caramel that I really liked in the early 2000s that I don't find here. But overall, I think it's beautiful. Okay, so Peter now talks about the Balblair. Yeah. I don't have now the infos of those I tried, but I took notes. We'll probably go back to that. Or, yeah, you have to watch, I think, my Balblair overview of the vintages. I think I mentioned them in the beginning. Good for you if you have those, Peter. Thanks for bringing also a lot of interesting things on the table with your experience. One of the most experienced viewers in the chat is Peter White. Hope someday if I go back to Canada we could exchange and try things together, but okay, so we're still under 2 hours and we have 9 people watching, so thank you guys. I think I'm on to 3 whiskeys, so I can do 2 more only, or okay, quickly. I know some of you probably want to hear about the Strathisla. This was mentioned in Instagram, so I think I have to try that. And maybe the Clynelish and the Bunnahabhain at the end. We'll have to rinse one of the glasses. I think the SCAPA will do great for the Bunnahabhain. So we're moving to some rarer things and things that were available at around 100 euros. And I'm afraid now it's not the same price. I also have to note what I tried, but Clynelish. Okay, so I don't know if you guys in the chat, Peter, I'm sure, but have tried some old Strathislas. Strathisla is a Speyside distillery, one of the most beautiful, iconic. I don't have a picture there. I didn't plan that. With those pagoda roof and those wheels on the front, and beautiful garden, very tiny, but they say home of Chivas Regal. Yes, but it's still a single malt. Oh, I didn't knew that. Interesting. Yeah, doesn't say natural color. It was a UK release, but you could find it in France too. Is of course Strathisla, even if in the past Gordon MacPhail did release in another range some was it 12 years old? No, it was, I think it was vintages of something, yeah, 10, 12, 14 years old. Bourbon barrel, completely different beast. Interesting, but not necessarily what we're looking at when we speak of Strathisla. Sherry bombs and old school sherry that's close to Armagnac, very tannic, very chili pepper, very powerful. This is not this. This one is rounded on the edges, a bit too much in my opinion, but we'll see. I've opened it. Hi, yes, Overlock, long time no see. Hope you're well. Yeah, complicated times. I'm happy to be on vacation now for, let's say, some time, not enough, but yeah, glad to have you on board. And yeah, we will see if you watch the replay. I tried of what's on the thumbnail. I tried the 2 Rosebanks. I asked for people in the chat. Then I tried SCAPA, and now we're going to the probably 3 last ones. They won't be too long, but we're going now to supposed Sherry Monster, but this one is tamed. This one is 43%, but like I said to someone on Instagram, it's less powerful, less complex, less interesting than the first one. I had tall bottle as well, distillery bottle label as well in 2005 in a bar, which is close to La Maison Whisky, so I knew it was a bottle from them, as this one could be, but is a UK market. But anyway, they had it. The 40%, believe me or not, the 40% version of this was way more interesting, way more complex, and way better than this. But I could find only that one at some point. Thanks. I'm trying with my modest means. I would like to have live at 70 years old, but to be very honest with you, You won't believe me, I would not like to have it here in this place. I would prefer to have it in another place where the conditions of preservation will be better. Even for this, it's a bit sensitive. In the glass, it's not necessarily natural color, and as always, the more you, the less surface you have, the tinier the content is, the clearer the color would be. So that if you see a dumpy bottle of this kind of stuff, content, it will come across darker because of the surface, that's all. It's a trick some bottlers use as well. Okay, I should shut up maybe of what I said before because it has the DNA of Strathisla on the nose. So if you like dark fruits, prunes, dates, figs, and some sherry tannins, you got them. I like that. It is also close to Armagnac, to some old Armagnacs I have, which are unadulterated, 35 years old, I think. Baron du Prada is close to this, maybe less rich on the fruit side. There's something I like a lot, which is a mix of sandalwood and musk. A bit reminiscent of two things, like you can see if you watch my long but interesting, I believe, video called 15 exceptional whiskies you should try before you die, and 15 affordable alternatives. Who did that? Not many people. To masterpieces like hell. This nose, at least for the nose, reminds me a bit of the Black Bowmore, which is 100 times more expensive at a certain extent. And to a cognac, the Cordon Bleu from, and it's crazy, I forget everything. Let me check, and I'm sure some of you will find what I mean, but sometimes I forget due to some problems I had when I had my cerebrovascular accident 2 years ago. Maybe it's about that, or it's just I'm getting old and stupid. Just check. It's one of the most famous French brand. Martel. Okay, before I get it, the honor is safe. It's not open yet, but I remember it's Martel. Okay, I don't have to watch it. Sorry, guys. Thanks, Peter. Yeah, good aftershave. That's something like that. But don't forget, there's a lot of oak, partly tamed in there. There's some. Let me see if I can find in French already. Oh yeah, there's some menthol. There's some wood smoke, tiny wood smoke. That's a bit surprising. Some dried raisins as well. Oh yeah, some lilac. Okay. This is very complex. The 40% version was, I think it was one of my first whiskies, 5-7 years after the start, in which I found over 25 descriptors. Different tasting notes. It was very impressive. Let's go on the Palate Slangeva. Oh, it's better. It's starting to develop. I'm happy. Okay, it's the finish that's frustrating. For the 3%, or it's not a question of ABV always, but something too short, medium short, too short, watery at the end. While it was going to be tannic, a bit tannic and a bit, even with chili pepper, like the 40% one, which came across as a 50, 60% ABV. Yes, can you believe that? This one comes across as 38% ABV for the finish. 35.5% was the norm before. I have to look for that. 19th century or 1940, I don't remember. Yeah, people don't know that at some point the ABV required for whiskey was not 40, but before. Oh, Blood Nord 23. Good tip, thank you. I have an independent bottling of Blood Nord from a French, very small broker not really indie bottler, very, very small. He has stopped working, but I think he got it from Signatory or Gordon or Douglas. The casks, one cask only. Oh, good to know. Good to know. Honestly, Blood Nord now is very expensive. They're getting crazy with some experiments. I like them. The bottle is fancy but heavy and expensive. But not always happy with what they choose to put in their casks, to be honest. Or okay. Beginning and mid palate is beautiful, but restrained compared to the nose. Nose is better. The finish lets you down. Why did the bottle that at 43, and why didn't they add some more punchier casks that are typical from Strathisla? I mean, I had a sub-release of a sub-brand. I mean, no disrespect, sub, I mean, this is a smaller one. From Pernod Ricard, what's the name of the range? Distillery something? Nouveau distillateur, or Distillery Générale, something like that. For the French audience, which is weird bottles of 35 cl with some artist doing something in one side and not excited for me by that. And on the other side, all the infos. And they did release a few years ago a Cask Strength 13 years old Strathisla, and it was fantastic. I didn't bought it. I should, because it was very limited. It was not super expensive. I regret, because it's typically the kind of bottles I would have bought to put in this glass 3 centiliters of this and 1 of the other, and this I'm sure would have done great. I would not put water in this one because I think it will be a mess. Nice dark chocolate notes. It's a good whiskey, but super frustrating. When you know, I tried 50, 30, 40 years old Strathisla. When you know what they can do, even at Gordon, this is very, very frustrating. And you see, first note, you could say, oh, Greg, you have a knowledge statement of something rare. It must be fantastic. It's rating 86 at first try. Not sure I'm going to keep that. 86 is a good rating for me. Anything over 81, it's pretty decent, good. Value-wise, no. Forget it. I will go lower than 86, unfortunately. So not a bad whiskey. I'm happy to have that, but I would have preferred the 40% version, believe me or not. Right. Oh, this could go. I prefer this. I'm gonna rinse one glass to try the Clynelish, and then I will finish with the Bunnahabhain in the SCAPA cask, because I think it could go, yeah, go well. So what do you guys think so far? Yeah, maybe. I mean, I tried a 17. I only have the 10 years old, the first release of the revamped fancy square bottle. Oh, well, David, if you followed what I said, or you will watch maybe the replay about this, I prefer here, well, the 40% version I had of this, because it was coming across as 50 or 60% ABV. Well, this one at 43 comes across at 38% or so. So you see, but what I'm gonna try is doesn't let you down 1 minute, and it's one of the most beautiful Clynishes I tried so far. So it will be a treat to try it for you guys. Again, all the infos will be under the video. There you have it. And this one I bought in London. We were visiting the whiskey exchange shop. The year after I went there for my birthday. Comes in a metal can, 2001. And I'm gonna tell you more about it. Not much details, more details online. So yeah, we tried David. We tried the two SCAPAs. No, two SCAPAs. The SCAPA 2000, and earlier on the two Rosebanks. If you want to see, I couldn't try everything, but and we're gonna finish with the Bunnahabhain. Now we have a 15 years old Clynelish, vintage 2001 bottle, 2016 in the Cask Strength range. This one was almost 100 euros, but in 2016. This one is a refill sherry composed of casks 307, 849 and 307, 850. So two casks. Yeah, that's true, David. That's true. Well, it was licensed bottling, so like I said earlier on, you had Glenlivet, you had Longmorn, you have SCAPA, you have Strathisla, Linkwood. I think it's almost all those. Talking on licensed bottling, we didn't try it, but I had this at 40%. I know. And Glen Grant, we didn't try it today, but it's not a masterpiece either. But it's good to have those things. It's a bit of history. Now, let's nose this and try this. And sticky legs, they are. I'm not sure you can see them. Oh, a bit. Sticky legs. There's too much reflection. So what's your, for those coming in now, did you have any in the Gordon MacPhail Clynelish, which, okay, Mortlach. I tried a dumpy one at 45%, that was nice. Again, for la Maison Whisky. But I yet to have, I know it's a shame, I yet to have any Mortlach in my collection. Mortlach, Ben Rinnes, Blair Athol are missing. I still have around 95 different Scottish distilleries on board, malt-wise, but I missed some of those names. I retried for the first time Mortlach 16 years old. I found it nice. I don't know if it was the batch, but it didn't blow me away. And especially in France, I didn't want to put 100 euros in that, almost. Sorry, guys, you have to do better. I was more impressed by the Glenturret 15 years old, despite its price tag of 175. Ugh. But it was a 53% ABV bottling, beautifully sherried. Oh, no way. Whoa, fake ones in Bulgaria, not good to hear. Ooh. I'm surprised they're not available in Ireland or Spain. That's weird. But yeah, okay, I believe you. Oh, fantastic. Bravo, bravo. That's a great milestone. Yeah, I had a nice one. Very nice ones. I was obliged, like I said, to sell a 1972 Clynelish, or the Book of Kells, because of personal money problems. It happens years ago. It was sold at a very decent price to a friend. The only thing I asked for is a sample. I still have it as a kind of memory. Ah, well, I hope not, but I believe Mark, or I believe David, I believe you guys. Let's get to the nose of this beauty. If you like your chocolate for breakfast and for dinner and after dinner, with all kinds of chocolate in there, dark, half dark, 70%, 60, 80, and a bit of Swiss chocolate in there to temper that, so there's less bitterness. You have it. Get also some Demerara rum in there, and you have part of the nose. What did I found else? Seems a bit close today. Yeah, tea and tobacco. Some spices, nice oak. So, what did I say? Refill sherry, yeah. Well, seems natural. Not sure it's mentioned. The letters are super tiny. Come on, they could write a bit more. Bigger. Oh. There's something very vicious there. As if they have caramelized and honeyed the oak with some cherry soaked kind of chocolate sweets. I don't know how to phrase that. Smooth. It's not smooth. Yeah, move somewhere else, David, to get some good whiskeys. Just kidding, but I'm sure you're getting other whiskeys from other countries, but it's a shame if you cannot find those good Scottish ones. But it's a shame here we cannot find some other stuff too. So there's always somewhere to complain that you cannot find this or that. Then after, if you're in AU, I know there's some trade going on between people, YouTubers, etc. So at some point you can maybe get something this way. 54, it's not aggressive. It's gentle. Exactly, Andrew. Well, it's getting more oaky than before. I did pump the air, but it's more oaky than before, but still greatly managed. 2 casks only, but 2 good casks, let me tell you. If this was first fill, it would have been probably too overpowering. This is not your typical waxy, bourbon-driven Clynelish, mind you. It's not close to the 14 official as well, if you wonder, because it's a 15 years old. It's getting a bit to the territory of the old ones that's a bit tannic, but not too much. The 72 I tried, but I was obliged to sell, 37 years old, was way too tannic, more herbal, more dry, way more austere than this. Well, I do regret, for the sake of the rarity and the beautiful label, to have sold it, but maybe I wouldn't have enjoyed it so much. I don't know. One of the most beautiful, if you have some money. Indie Clynelish I came across, I tried twice, 3 times, and I might have a wee of it, is a 1971, over 30 years old. Well, I don't know how much. Sorry for the noise outside. Murray McDavid Mission 1971. Get this. Fantastic. All right. What did you say in the chat, David? Yeah, I understand that. It's like if here I would never try cognac or Armagnac, and if I didn't like gin or grappa. Yeah. We discussed a bit this cask topic before you came, and like I said, yes, sherry and sherry. And honestly, when you try some Highland Park from now, that's supposed to be fully sherried, and some I tried 20 years ago, or even some of those who are here, my Highland Parks, there are in some older releases, pre-2006, it's not the same sherry. Come over to the dark side. It's funny. I like. You know what? Despite what I said, I'm gonna pour me a bit more of this, because I have to dig a bit more. Was that a good squeak? But I enjoy, I have to say, this one better. I don't have an advanced bottle, that's why I'm pouring very carefully a little of it. Also, I have to travel tomorrow, so I don't want to overcharge my... This needs to be preserved at a lower temperature. It's way better. I prefer it neat. Combination again of chocolate, oak, spices, but tamed, and very intricate notes of different things coming from the sherry is very smartly done. I love that. Liver, time, money, in that order. I don't know. We have 2 hours to do our duty about that. This will be the Clynelish will be fantastic with a chocolate tablet. I don't know the word in English. It's some chocolate or even a brownie. A bit too luxury for a brownie. Yeah. Hope you don't hear the motorcycle outside doing stupid things. We're gonna move to this to finish the live show. But before that, let me ask you in the chat, if you had the opportunity to try an indie bottling of Scottish distillery, which will be, for instance, the 3 distilleries you will dream of to have an indie bottling of in Gordon MacPhail collection, and for instance, in this range as a cask strength. I'm curious. 3 or 2 or 1. So which ones you would like to see a bottle there, knowing they have till, like they said in the interview I quote earlier on, they say they have 10 to 15 years stock to bottle. So despite the big event they mentioned, we're not going to run out of whiskey until we are retired, I think, for people like me, at least. Right. Also, before we get to this, to pause a bit, if you have any questions. Let me read. Oh, Van Nuys. I spoke about Van Nuys earlier on. What was it like? I think it seems you loved it. Yeah. I'm a bit late on the comments, maybe, because they don't appear quick. Let me check if there's a difference. I don't want to pump too much signal for the some say no sound, or is it was an earlier comment, I guess. Okay, better get out of there. Okay. Okay, not bad. I'm glad I have Clynelish and Rosebank. I don't have Brora home. I used to have a sample, and I spent it, the last of it, for a review. To compare it, if you haven't seen that, you can watch it with a Port Charlotte. Because there's a Port Charlotte, there's several ones that remind me of Brora, by the way, but the one I had the chance to win on a ballot, I mean the right to buy it, not win the bottle, the PC16 of 2020, my word, is reminiscent of 30 years old Brora for me. So I did a comparison. I didn't have the 30 years old. I mean, some of the releases, for instance, the 4th special release, which I love, like a lot, my favorite so far. It was very coming across strong on the peat, etc. Unfortunately, the later releases, older, 35 and more, are less peated. They're less spectacular. They're very good, very interesting. But the sample I had didn't match with the Port Charlotte. But there were still some interesting. Oh, Colburn, yeah, nice close distillery. Glenalbyn, I'm not sure. I tried one. Glenlochy. I have to look in my archive for that. But of course, for those who like these close distilleries, they have to search for pre-Diageo era rare malt selections of them. or Signature Vintage did release some of those. Gordon MacPhail, I remember, did release a cold burn. I tried also, I didn't mention, some beautiful Glenmore close distillery. I have a rare malt of Glenmore in my collection, but I tried some beautiful Gordon MacPhails, the 1965 of my vintage, fantastic, and the 1981, 82. David says, haha, Clynelish Mortlach Linkwood, okay. So Clynelish is successful. It steals the show so far. David, the same. Oh, non-peated. Oh, does it mean you're not a fan of peated whiskies? Oh, interesting. Or you want to try unpeated, you like peated, but you're curious of what they could do with unpeated, which is a different thing. Interesting. Okay, let's pour this. As you see, it's low. I should have bought several bottles. I don't know if it was David or someone else who mentioned to have bought 3 of these and to be very satisfied. I'm satisfied with only 1, but maybe I should bought others. My experience with Buna, like I said, and despite my friendship for admiration for David, which I had in the live show, unfortunately, I still have to review. It's heavily peated, yes. I still have to review my 5 Bunnahabhains, but 4 of them are indie bottlings, and the 4 are beautiful ones. And I prefer the 4 to the official, the only 12 years old bottling I have. That's life. Hey, go Habs. Bonjour, Montréal. Hello to our Quebec friends in Canada. So yeah, it's almost the end. We tried a couple of bottlings there. Just to let you know, we did a comparison with my 2 Rosebanks. I tried also the SCAPA 2000. So maybe you're interested to watch the replay. 25 years old Strathisla, Clynelish 2001, 15 years old Cask Strength, and now we're finishing with some peat. 8 years old only, 43% only, but it doesn't matter if it's good, it's good. And it is good. Shortest review ever. Whoa, sticky legs. I don't, again, they don't say if it's chill filtered, etc. But at some point, I don't care because it's good. This was bottled, as it's written here, the 11th of October of 2016. Batch 161, 698. So I think you know everything except heavily peated refill sherry butts. So big casks. Oh. What always intrigues me, and I have another 8 years old Cask Strength. It's closed, still closed, but from Berry Brassenrod. Bunnahabhain seems to be one of the distilleries which in one of the best, yes, there's one of the best, at least Islay, I don't know, Scottish distilleries, one of the most precocious. I mean, I've tasted 4, 5, 6 years old. They are fantastic. Of course, the peat, the heavily peat, helps, as always, for any spirit to round the edges if it's not very good. But we know unpeated spirit is good from Bunna. But what I mean is, I'm always puzzled, is it an English word? I'm always amazed how Bunnahabhain is good at a young age. It's one of the rare distilleries I really can say that almost all the time. Everything I tried, 4, 5, 6, the nose is great. It's a bit medicinal, but it's not Lefroy. There's some ashy smoke, some tar, there's some, coal tar, sorry. some ozone. You're in the airport on Islay. I've never been there, so I can only imagine. There's a lot of wind. You get some seashore, tiny seaweed, tiny brine. And you have it's a bit funky. You have almost the two-engined two-engine small plane that just landed. It was your plane, and it's getting on the parkway, but you still got some fumes, diesel fumes in there. You have so sea spray. I love the sea spray, and on top of that, you have the star anise note. I love in Bowmore, in some Kilchoman, and in Buna. Not all. Oh, sorry to hear that. Very sorry to hear that. I hope you'll have less problem. They will increase prices here also because of the cereal plus glass crisis here. Some of the crises, I won't go in politics there, but some, for the two reasons, are scandalously not related to any scarcity, etc., but to political choices, let me tell you. And I will stop on that. No polemics. Yeah, maybe. Not very intellectual. Yeah, Stoisha, it's ridiculous. I mean, I haven't tried this for maybe a year or two, but yeah, the nose, whoa, slam de vin. Mm. Mm. Oh, same as the nose. Very well crafted. And something warm, not warming your palate, but comforting, if you get the picture. There's something satisfying, it's reassuring, comforting. It's Islay Peat. No, I'm not doing advertising. It's, oh man, how do they do that? And how do they do to make us have so much pleasure at only 43%? It's unbelievable. Yeah, I should have bought 3 of these. How much was that? Have you tried that in the chat? I don't remember who said he tried that. 52, I have a €5 discount in my shop coupon that I used. So 52 instead of 57 euros in 17. I mean, there were plenty of those. I regret not to have bought at least one more. But I have very, very good, and I'm sorry to repeat that, and I'm not having any money for that, the French market release of the Kilchoman Loch. It makes my year. Makes 2 years, in fact. I'm gonna finish soon Bottle Kill, the first or second one I bought, and there are 3 others in reserve, which is a unique case, I think, in my collection. The other case might have been Lagavulin 16 in the past, Colilla 12, and maybe a bit more, I'm not sure. Let's put some water in this beauty. So yeah, I don't have real high-end Gordon MacPhail in my collection, if I can say that, unlike some, but I'm happy with the part of the choices I have. Star anise / almonds / vanilla / citrus sherbet / beautiful flowers. I'm a happy man with a 43% Bunna poured in the rum fest glass. Right. I almost had to cancel this because I was preparing things and there were all over the place things, but I said, okay, I said I will do that. Let's do that. Right. Okay, Vic. Good question, but I didn't try the 10 today. I tried 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 today. What will I pick? I don't have what I use sometimes. Without a doubt, if I have to mention 3 winners, okay, I have to, so you can see these. But thanks for your question. It's a very nice one. These are the 3 winners today. If I have to choose 3, those are my 3 favorite today. Big spoiler for those who will watch the. No doubt, those 3 are stellar stuff. Well, stellar. I mean, everything is relative. Port Ellen 12 release is stellar, but okay. Or I don't know, Longmore 1969 is stellar. Or like I said, for those who missed the show, the beginning of the show, I mean, but no, watch the beginning of the show. Talisker 1955, 38 years old, Cask Strength. Gordon MacPhail, yeah, this is stellar, this is supersonic, everything you want. Mark. French inspiration, oh, okay, yeah, this is what I said some point, limited releases at very high price, or high price. I haven't tried that Calvados. They're releasing a lot of things, cognac, cask, etc. Some YouTubers complain about the quality of those. I don't know. I won't buy those before I try. The one that was intriguing me the most is the Madeira 2021. Not sure there's a 2022, but I love Madeira cask and finishes in whiskey. I mean, full maturation sometimes and finishes. I was pissed off. Sorry, the Adelphi decided not to give us in French any allocation of the Madeira release. I was very disappointed about that. It's life. There were other Madeira releases that were interesting for me that I couldn't buy easily. There's a Switzerland release of the Philae Bay Madeira that intrigues me a lot. And I know there are, which are those 2 interesting distilleries who are going to release a Madeira cask. I forgot. But yeah, I'm a sucker for Madeira stuff. I don't know. Ask maybe Gert from Whiskey Lovers Society. Maybe he have some good addresses. Oh, good to know. Thanks, Mark. I haven't tried it. I guess it's the signature vintage one. Okay. I still have this, and I'm gonna dinner soon because I want to see Whiskey Mystery Phil and Deepa broadcast after that, a live show as well. And I will have maybe to sleep early than I thought. I will not be able to, unless I have a good connection, to watch Jeff Whisky, which I salute here, for his taking over Aquavitae show VPub on Thursday, but I wish him good luck, which we'll watch it on replay for sure. If you don't know Jeff Whisky channel, it's a young taster, but it's a brilliant one, and also brilliant editing channel. I really like his way of well, getting along things, and no well, he's very specific, very singular, so I like to watch him. I think it's time for me to go. Thank you very much for watching. I hope you found this interesting. I have to compliment the people in the chat for asking very interesting questions regarding production, cask maturation, etc. Though some of those topics, if not all, really deserve more time. So I hope I will come back for more specific production phase or maturation or cask type videos at some point. I did a video very early in my channel time journey about Madeira finishes, about port finishes. I have to do one about rum, Sauternes, and other finishes. I'm a bit late on those ones, but if you're interested, let me know. Anyway, have a nice time from now on. I don't know what hours in, very early, I guess, in Canada. Thanks for watching, and thanks for being very participative in the chat. See you soon, maybe in 15 days now, I don't know, something like that. Bye-bye. Cheers. Thank you very much again. It was great.